All right, hi everybody. I'm First Warren 5 Meteorologist Warren Sears, jumping back on our streaming platforms, and that is because we do have. Sorry, let me make sure all this is running properly. All right, so we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for the Kansas City Metro, part of the Kansas City Metro, the western Kansas City Metro, and the Northland as well. And I want to show you, got a lot of stuff going on the camera here. All right, so the severe thunderstorm warning is until 2:30. That does include Johnson on the Kansas side, Leavenworth, Miami, and Wyandotte counties till 2:30. There is a segment that I need to show you that has the potential of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and nickel-sized hail, but also a feature that we're starting to see, potential little spin-ups on this line of severe thunderstorms coming in from the west. So the tornado possible tag was put in the severe thunderstorm warning. So let me show you all of that here. I can get this on screen. All right, so here's your warning. It is, as I mentioned, till 2:30. It is for that part of the line here that you can see that is bowing out a little bit, and there's so much lightning with this storm. I'm going to go ahead and just turn that off. So you can see a lot of lightning with this. So that bowing segment right there, that is where we could see a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust or greater, but also within that, there is a potential for a spin up or two, as I just mentioned there. So they are usually brief. The tornado threat is definitely not long track variety. They are brief spin ups on that line, little notches that we can get, and oftentimes there's not a whole lot going on for a long amount of time, but they can produce brief tornadoes here. So I have a chat with our National Weather Service as well. We're watching a couple different spots, and they did actually go ahead and issue a tornado watch. So that watch is going to be in place here. So let me show you where that tornado watch was issued. And that's going to be, this is not set up properly. We have so many different alerts out there right now, so bear with me. All right, so here's the tornado watch that was put into place. And that's going to be for the southern, eastern, and then Kansas City Metro points to the south and east of Kansas City as well. So again, that was just issued. So that is a watch. It means conditions are favorable. They just went ahead and decided to go with the tornado watch because of the small chances on that line of thunderstorms for brief spin-ups. So let's see here. That is going to be until 8 p.m. Again, all this is coming in as I'm jumping on the stream, so I'm trying to get reacquainted here with what we've got going on and make sure that you all have the best information that I can give you. All right, so that tornado watch until 8 p.m. And again, that is going to be for areas like Cass, Jackson, Johnson, Miami counties in the Kansas City Metro, and then also Johnson County on the Missouri side, Warrensburg up to Richmond, Marshall, Chillicothe, and Sedalia. You guys are included in this. And again, that is until 8 p.m. So that is what we have going on. This line of thunderstorms has pretty much been pulsing in from the west, but it hasn't been severe. For some reason, something in our atmosphere just allowed this to strengthen really quickly. And so that is why they issued a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings and now one with that tornado tag possible. So let's time it out here. So we'll stop radar and we will get you, we'll get satellite off to some of this. Looks, all right. So they have a destructive tag on this, I believe. So I think I'm going to probably need to jump on air downstairs. So that might need to happen here in just a second. Let me get you the latest on this warning. So this warning, they did upgrade it to a considerable threat because there's 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts associated with it. And that does include Wyandotte, Johnson, and northern Miami County. So that is until 2:30. So I don't know if I'm going to need to probably go down. Let me Meteorologist Warren Sears. So a lot has unfolded here in the last 10 minutes. We have a strong line of thunderstorms that has really ramped up here as it gets closer to the Kansas City metro. So what we'll talk through here is a severe thunderstorm warning with a destructive tag, and they just within the last 10 seconds issued a tornado warning. This is for southern Johnson and northern Miami counties here. So that tornado warning specifically is going to be until 2 p.m. So it's short-lived. What happens when we get these bowing segments like this, we can get little notches on that bowing segment and they can spin up briefly. They're not long track tornadoes, but they can produce brief tornadoes. So at this time, this is all just coming in here. So I have a cart with me and I'm keeping tabs on our National Weather Service chat as well. So I'm going to get you all the latest information that you need to know. We'll track things, we'll track where the rotation is. We'll get to all that here in just a second. But what I first want to tell you is the warning that we have in place. The tornado warning is until 2 p.m. It is a radar indicated rotation. So at this time, we do not have confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but it is the leading edge of this line here. So let's show you here. This does not include, let's take a closer zoomed in look and just show you where the tornado warning, it's a smaller area. So Gardner and Edgerton, you are in this tornado warning. Spring Hill, you are also in this tornado warning. And real south Olathe, here's I-35. And so we're talking down near the medical campus would be right in that kind of northern edge of this tornado warning. Spring Hill and then over the county line, that is going to be into northern Miami County. You are also included in this tornado warning. The big picture look here, that yellow box on the outside, also has the threat for 70+ mile per hour wind gusts. So when they go ahead and issue a destructive tag on a severe thunderstorm warning, we see that outlined in white here. So that is going to include much more of Johnson County, Wyandotte County, southern Leavenworth County does not include Leavenworth, and also Miami County, a good chunk of you, Paola and Lewisburg, you are included. So we have basically two threats here. We have a straight line wind threat, but we also have an embedded tornado threat as well on that advancing line of thunderstorms. This, again, all just really kind of blew up here in the last 10 to 15 minutes. On top of that, there is a significant amount of lightning with this very strong line of thunderstorms that's coming in from the west as we speak. So I need everybody in the western Kansas City metro, downtown, near the state line, I need you all to be prepared as this line of thunderstorms is quickly moving to the east. So let's take a closer look at our actual velocity products, and what the velocity product can help me do is see a little bit of that rotation and see if we can find where we're worried about that tornado potentially forming. And at this time, we still don't have anything on the ground. I don't have anything that's confirming that we have a tornado touchdown, but the conditions are right there and favorable. So at this time, it looks like sirens are sounding, but we don't have anything confirmed. So I'll let you know if that changes here. But this is all racing to the east pretty fast. So let me get my product that I wanted to show you here. It's our velocity tracker. And as we take a closer zoomed in look on this specific cell, so what happens in these, this is not your traditional supercell where you get, really broad rotation and then we start to see funnels drop out. That is not what these type of events are. Now what this is though, is a little notch. That's all we look for. Just a small little notch that would basically be right here near Edgerton. There could be little inflow notches like this, and that is likely where that stronger rotation is currently. So it is tracking fast. These are oftentimes within one radar scan, they can be completely gone. So while they can produce tornadoes, they generally are a little bit more on the brief side, and hopefully they can stay, on the lower scale of things. But we don't want to see anything touch down right now. But if I do have any rotation, it is that notch right over Edgerton, and it will be tracking to the east right to kind of South Gardner, I-35 here over the next few minutes. So let's put a track on that, and it is moving. Let me also get a read here on the speed of this. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, here's a look at I-35 at Lone Elm. So this would be not far off from the rotation there. This would be looking northbound. So yeah, real dark skies there, and we will definitely keep close tabs on this. And yeah, if you guys find any more scout cameras, please let me know. So this is moving to the let's see where the speed is on this. It is moving at 40. to the east. So moving pretty fast. And so let's go ahead and put a track on that. And we are seeing that notch move 40, east at 40. A lot of buttons I got to push here. Sorry. Stick with me. All right. So east at 40, that would put in the next 20 minutes these towns in the path here. So Spring Hill, 204, you got less than 10 minutes. And that severe thunderstorm with the probability of potentially producing a tornado here is going to be into your area. Spring Hill, 204. And then we also have the Bonita area, real south Olathe, 207. Yeah, here's another look here. So this one is northbound at Clare Road. And so we'll look for any sort of lowerings in that line that's coming in. But at this time, nothing that really is catching my eye with that specific scout camera. But real ominous skies. Again, this whole line of thunderstorms is coming in from the west as we speak. And it is very strong. And what happened was there was no warning on this about 10, 15 minutes ago. Then we got a warning for a severe thunderstorm. Then we got a destructive tag, and now we have a tornado warning. So again, all of this unfolding pretty fast. So I'm going to continue to keep tabs on radar. We're going to track this out for you here. We're going to stay on this until our threat is gone. And we are also going to keep tabs on our chat. National Weather Service, we have talks with them so we can get the latest information, and I have that all pulled up over here as well. One thing also to note, while we do have that tornado warning, they are concerned with how that specific cell is behaving, so they issued a watch. Again, conditions are favorable, and that watch is going to include the southern Kansas City metro and then a good chunk of our eastern viewing area into central Missouri. That stays until 8 p.m. Another significant rain shower coming in northbound at 199th Street, I-35 northbound at 199th Street. So that is likely right at where that rotation is. Significant rain. There was a little bit of hail, but nothing that I'm seeing that's overly concerning. But gusty straight line winds up to 70 plus miles per hour and potentially a tornado as well. All right, let's get you back out to, I want to show you the system as a whole and kind of help you point out to where you live and get you a better understanding on what you can expect in your neighborhood. So those of you in downtown, you're not in this warning right now, but KCK is. I would assume it gets extended over the severe thunderstorm warning in the yellow box. And then the actual tornado warning is in southern Johnson County and northern Miami County. That is in effect still for 6 more minutes. And so we'll see if they continue to extend that more to the east. Now, the farther north you live from Kansas City and I-70, you are more in the clear from this, just some noisy storms. So this one feature right here is that Boeing segment that I'm more concerned with. That is the reasoning when we get those Boeing segments, that is the reasoning why oftentimes we could get 60, 70 mile per hour straight line winds. But then also when you get Boeing segments that are strong enough, there can be little embedded rotations, little vortices in that leading edge of the line. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. That is why that tornado warning was issued for southern Johnson and northern Miami counties, because there's enough rotation with a few of the scans that we've seen that is conducive of producing a tornado. It was all radar indicated. Again, that is not anything confirmed at this time, but radar indicated rotation there. And so they went ahead and issued that tornado warning. That is going to stay in effect here until 2 p.m. And I'm going to check with our National Weather Service chat, make sure I'm not missing anything here for you. All right, no new information with that tornado warning. That generally, is a good sign. That means that there's nothing of concern on the ground. But we have a couple of other products here that we can look at. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at our velocity again. I want to show you what they are warning here. Again, we're seeing that notch. Excuse me. So this notch is exactly where we're favoring. If there's any rotation, it is kind of getting sucked right in there just to the south of Gardner. And there's nothing real promising at this moment that there's great rotation, but it doesn't take long for setups like this to produce a tornado. So a closer look at where that rotation is, again, more south side of the Gardner City Center, kind of downtown, and points to the south here. And here's I-35. So between 56, old 56 here, and I-35, that's where some of that rotation could be. And that's the hot, bright spot there with our velocity product that is indicating and allowed them to warn that this specific part of the storm. So what happens with this velocity product is basically our radar picks up the rain droplets flying all around at different levels and different speeds and in different directions. And we can see that. That feeds back to the radar. We can see that here. So we'll continue to keep close tabs on that. We also have another product here that can detect some debris sometimes. And so let me see if I can line that up at all. And this is not really in the area that I'm concerned at, not really indicating. We would see like a little bright ball or something like that right in here. So good news, I'm not seeing that at this time. So the debris tracker is pretty much still indicating that this is going to be radar indicated rotation and not a confirmed tornado at this time. But what can happen with these too is they can get a little rain wrapped in on themselves. And I don't want to overshadow also, let's go back out here, and I want to show you the whole severe thunderstorm warning that this tornado warning is embedded in. And the warning itself is nasty. It can have 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here, so we don't want to overshadow that. And let me kind of put a track on where some of our stronger wind gusts are, and we can get a better picture and a better look at where they're heading here shortly. So we took the lightning product off, and I mentioned this already. There's so much lightning with this strong thunderstorm coming in, so it's harder to detect things on radar with it. So we'll take the lightning product off, and what we'll also do here is take a more zoomed in look, and I'm going to time this Boeing segment out. So first, let me give you the severe thunderstorm warning. Again, that has the destructive tag on it with a tornado possible. That is why we are on also with that tornado warning for southern Johnson and northern Miami County. That is until 2:30. So the tornado warning is until 2. The larger severe thunderstorm warning is until 2:30, and that is going to stay in effect because wind gusts could be up to 70 miles per hour, and we could have nickel-sized hail. And then we will jump over to Sharon in just a second, but I do want to time this out before I do so here. And we do have this Boeing segment that oftentimes is very, very strong. It's moving to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So let me time this out for you real quick, and then we will get a better understanding to the east-northeast. Let's go over the next 30 minutes. This is the path of this strong line of thunderstorms. So far south Olathe, and we also have the Clare area, 158. And 202 for South Olathe here. Paola, just about 208 as well. Lenexa, be ready here in the next 10 minutes for the strong part of the storm to come into your area. And of course, give or take a little time here. Stanley, Overland Park, and Leawood, all before 220. Belton, just over the state line here at 224. And so this will likely race over into western Jackson and western Cass. So I need everybody in the Kansas City metro needs to be ready for this strong thunderstorm coming in. But those of you right now that are in southern Johnson, please be prepared for a brief tornado to spin up. So I'm going to send it over to Sharon with a look at potential power outages. Sharon?
Yes, Warren, and as you've been talking about, with the severe storms comes the high winds, and that is what is causing a few power outages right now. So we want to go ahead and take a look at the Evergy map. Right now, it says a total of 4,400 customers without power. Now, what we're focused on is this area here, which is that South Johnson County area that you were speaking of, and there we have about almost 1,800 customers that have been impacted by the storms. Lights out for them. Evergy says that they are certainly evaluating the situation. What we do want to get across to you right now in this severe weather is that if you do come across any downed power lines or poles, remember to stay away. Do not approach them. What you need to do is call the utility company, call Evergy, and let them know about the situation. Warren, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, great advice, Sharon. Thank you so much. So I have some good news. They did expire the tornado warning. That was in effect until 2. It did expire right at 2. That was for southern Johnson and northern Miami counties. So if the sirens are still sounding, the warning has expired. And at this time, we don't have rotation that we're detecting. But at this time, we also have strong wind gusts, straight line wind gusts. It's slightly different, but can still do basically the same damage. That is the big concern here with this larger yellow polygon, and that is because wind gusts could be up to 70 miles per hour, potentially even stronger. So if you're just now joining us here, this is a look at the strong severe thunderstorm warning that we have in effect. There was a tornado warning that has since expired, but the reasoning that we're going to stay on is this is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. And again, those 70 plus mile per hour wind gusts, nothing to mess around with. Those can be equal to the same strength as a low-end tornado. So they still can do a lot of damage. And let's go ahead and look at our products here and kind of highlight where some of the hot spots are going to be. Whenever we get storms to bow out like this, that generally mean business, and they are generally very strong. There's a lot of lightning with this, so I did take the lightning product off so we can see the radar a little bit better. One thing that I do need you to know, those of you into the heart of Johnson, eastern Johnson County, into downtown, those of you in eastern Miami County as well, there could be another tornado warning soon that gets issued. What happens with these is we get little notches on the leading edge of this line, and they can give us brief, but still tornadoes, brief spin-ups, but still tornadoes that can track for on the ground for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Usually the warnings are a little bit shorter, so that is what we're going to continue to watch out for. But in the meantime, we do have those wind gusts potentially over 70 miles per hour, and those of you in Gardner likely are experiencing some of the strongest stuff as we speak right now. So let's flip it over to that product. Again, I'll highlight where some of our stronger wind gusts are found, and those of you in Spring Hill, be ready. This is coming into your area basically right now. So western Spring Hill just crossed over I-35 here. So in kind of the heart of Johnson County, South Olathe, North Spring Hill here, you see these bright greens that we're seeing on our velocity product. That is indicating potentially 70 plus mile per hour winds that are coming out of the leading edge of this thunderstorm here. So 169 south here, between Olathe, Spring Hill, that is where we have some of the stronger activity. Gardner, likely eastern part of town, probably experiencing some strong wind gusts as we speak, not to mention so much lightning is associated with this. So if you're looking at the scout cameras, guys at the back, definitely check around I-35 here in South Olathe. And I don't know if there are any on 169, but we'll be watching this continue to push to the east, about 45 miles per hour. So I want to highlight some of these hot spots here on where those are going to track here shortly. And so let's go ahead and do that. There's also another spot that I'm really curious about here that is going to be to the south of Gardner, just over the county line that you're seeing right here. All right, let's take one more look out with your scout camera. I-35 northbound at Elm. Yes, significant torrential rain. So yeah, that's another thing to mention. On top of this, travel is going to be very hard. Even without the strong wind gusts, you have so much lightning and the rain, the torrential rain that is falling, that has already fallen today. We're adding even more on top of that here. Flash flooding is a big concern of mine. I mentioned that at noon today. Flash flooding through the afternoon is a big concern. We have seen so many inches of rain in a short amount of time. We'll continue to add to that here over the next hour, at least as the strong leading edge of this thunderstorm pushes in. So let's go ahead and track the hot spots that we have on radar. And those are mainly to the east here at about 45 miles per hour. So let's say in the next 15 minutes, let's see where we've got. Madison Place Elementary School at 206 Spring Hill. Again, basically right now here at 207, knocking on your doorstep to the west. Blue Valley Southwest High School and Blue Valley West High School all before 215. So if you live in those neighborhoods, that's where the strong wind gusts are coming in here shortly. And then we have Stillwell, Hillsdale, and Loch Lloyd all need to be ready here in the next 15 to 20 minutes for up to 70 plus mile per hour wind gusts. Luke joining us now in studio. Luke, what you got?
All right, well, this was rapidly evolving. It wasn't but 20 minutes ago that a tornado watch was issued. Right after that, a tornado warning was issued. So things started to escalate rather quickly. So this is a tornado watch that goes until 8 p.m. in all the counties that you see shaded in orange here. So this is going to include Bates, Cass, Johnson, Miami counties, and Kansas, a whole bunch of them in Missouri too. So that is something that we're going to monitor. But what I want you to see is it's this line right here that's nosing in as we speak. That's the primary severe culprit. Once this is through, over the next, I'm going to guess, hour and a half, 2 hours, it's really going to be, trimming back on that watch and the likelihood that we have severe weather. We're still going to have a flood risk This is all really heavy rain on top of where we've had really heavy rain. These boxes that we see down here by Garnett and Ottawa, flash flood warnings where we've seen up to 3 inches of rain. Another 3 inches of rain could fall on top of that. Some of us could end up with over a half a foot of rain before the day is done. So I just wanted to point this out. This line right here, when it comes through the initial punch over the next hour, hour and a half, that is the severe portion. After that, rain will continue. We're still going to have a flood risk, but the severe threat for your area after you get hit initially will come down. So let's go on a tour across this line because there's a good number of us that aren't under a warning, but this is going to be moving through. I just want you to see where we stand right now. So up here by Cameron and Gomer, non-severe thunderstorms. One over there by Smithville's got some good kick to it. Lots of lightning. Warren was pointing all of that out. And then in the metro, this is a potent severe thunderstorm. Now we have rankings for severe thunderstorm warnings. You've got your base, then you have a considerable, then you have a destructive. This one's in the middle at a considerable with 70-mile-per-hour winds possible. Warren was just showing that to you, so that's just east of Olathe where those high winds would likely be occurring. So Overland Park, you would be next in line. It's this little spot right here that's nosing out, that little where you get that nose that points out. Hey, here's a camera, a live view that we've got, one of our scout cams. See, what do we have there, guys? Let's go back to that scout cam real quick and show you so this is what you'd be driving through. Total mess out there, really heavy rain. Earlier today, we actually had some water rescues southwest of the metro, so flash flooding again. Watch it. If you're driving today and you come across, water that's standing on the road, you likely can't tell how deep that is, and we do have to be aware that there are streams and waterways that are going to be swollen, and that could, cause a lot of issues as far as you might drive into waterways, something like that. So just beware. Just beware. That's a problem for today. Okay, back to the radar. I'm going to pause this for you, and I want to there's a new severe thunderstorm warning. Warren, if you would let us know what you see with that. I've got chat opened up over there as well as the Facebook comments. If you are watching us on Facebook or YouTube, one of our streams, you can comment on that, and then we're going to try to answer the questions that you've got. So obviously this is moving east, so that's why this warning got expanded. I'm curious to see if it's still a considerable. I believe it is because we have this white surrounding and a new tornado warning. New tornado warning just popped up. Loch Lloyd, Lee's Summit. Let's check this out.
It was right over the Johnson County Executive Airport they were concerned at. So take a deep dive into there.
Okay, here we go.
That notch, yep.
So it's this notch right here. Let's get rid of the extra stuff that we don't need. And what I'm going to do here is switch this over. We have a product with our First Warn Doppler radar that allows us to see where the spin is. So let me pull that up for you because that really helps us out. As a meteorologist, we can kind of see where that spin is most likely occurring. Okay, so that's going to be just south and east of Olathe. It's right there. Let me pause that. So I need this so I can track it for you. So it's south of Overland Park. Where we would see a potential tornado would be southeast of Olathe, right around Morse. So this is Morse. This right here is 69, so Highway 69, west of Highway 69 right now, south of Lenexa, west of Stanley, east of Bonita. So there's 35. It's between 35 and 69. So we're in Johnson County in Kansas is where we're seeing that now. That's northwest of Stillwell, and that is moving east. Let me get Warren, if you can get the speed on that, let me know and I'll. 40 to 45. Mm-hmm. So let's pull this out. I'm going to get a track on that for you because it's going to be going through the south side of the metro. 45.
Sorry, 40, but
40.
Close enough.
Okay. Well, here, let's do this. I'm going to redo that. Ignore the times that you see on here because we're going to have to redo that. But I do want to get you, when's it going to be in Grandview? When's it going to be in Belton? We want to get you covered with that. So right here at the leading edge is where we would have a potential tornado, and right about there. Okay, so Stanley would be about just after 2:15. Loch Lloyd be about 2:20, 2:25. Belton would be about 2:30. Hickman Mills would be about 2:33, and then Vale would be 2:40 to 2:45. Lee's Summit, if it's still rotating by that point, would be about 2:45. So that's toward the end of the warning, right there by Lee's Summit. After that would be potentially Blue Springs, though Blue Springs a little bit farther to the north, so Lake Lotawana would be places that we would watch next for that. So what this is, let me break this down. All along this line, and I'm going to go back to the standard Doppler radar for you. All along this line, we're going to have strong storms. And if I get rid of the lightning, you can get a better picture of these little kinks that are along it. All right, so there's a little kink, and there's a little kink, and then there's one right there too that's over by Loch Lloyd, south of Olathe. And any time that we see that under this kind of setup, you can get these real quick spin-up tornadoes. They drop down real fast. They usually lift real fast. They don't tend to be super powerful. But the thing is that there's such a rapidly evolving thing that we don't want to wait until we see really strong rotation before a warning is issued. So all of these severe thunderstorm warnings are also tagged with a, hey, tornado is possible within these. And then whenever there is a sufficient level of rotation that's reached, they throw out the warning. So this is not typically what we see with a tornado warning where there's really strong, it's by itself, a storm that's all by itself producing a lot of rotation. This is just enough that it could spin something up real quickly, and we want you out ahead of that. So if you're in Loch Lloyd, you're in Lee's Summit, you're in Lee's Summit, you've got some time. You've got some time in Lee's Summit. If you're in Grandview and you're in Belton, you've got some time. You've got about 15, 20 minutes. But if you're in southeastern parts, what's that? All right, this live pick near Advent Health. Look at that, it is coming down. It is really coming down, super heavy rain. So I-35 and 75th Street is where this is. Live view right now, you're looking at that live. And tornado warning, this is radar indicated. We do not have proof that there's a tornado there, but there's enough spin to it that the National Weather Service is saying south of Overland Park, southeast of Olathe, get to your safe spot, get there now, and we just don't want this to drop something, which it might be doing at any minute. It's imminent that it could do that, and you not be in a safe area. So inside of your house, you don't want to be in an outbuilding, nothing like that. If you don't have a basement, the interior room, a hallway, basement, or a hallway or a bathroom rather, always a good spot to be. So with that, Warren, let's go over to you. Do you have any information coming in from reports or from the Weather Service?
So no, which is a good thing, right? That means that we don't have any new information. Something's on the ground, also a really good thing, and there's no debris. There's really nothing of sorts that we're tracking, which is good. Now, we've talked a lot about that focused tornado warning, but I also do want to show you the destructive or considerable, severe thunderstorm warning that is highlighted in this white box here, the yellow polygon with the white outline. That includes a lot more of us as well. So that is going to be downtown Kansas City, KCK, all of KCMO, all the way up through the airport and to Kearney, and basically the Kansas City Metro in its entirety is under a severe thunderstorm warning right now with this considerable tag. And that's because, yes, there is that chance for a brief spin-up tornado, but we also have strong straight line winds embedded in some of this. You start to see this bow echo segment. That's what we call that feature on radar. That's pushing strong winds kind of out ahead of that line of thunderstorms. So if we look at that as a whole and we take a more zoomed in look at where we've got the velocity product here where we have that bowing segment, we'll look for the bright greens on that leading edge, and there definitely are some. There's one specifically that has my attention here just through the heart of OP, honestly, near Metcalf and between kind of heading to Prairie Village, Metcalf, 75th to 95th Streets. That's where we have a real bright spot here. It's not tornadic right now. That's not what I'm saying, but there could be strong straight line winds of maybe 70 plus miles per hour, which can also do a good amount of damage. So those are notches, or those are bright spots here that we're going to be watching out for. And if we take a look into downtown, yeah, we switched to a different radar, but you can still see that one hot spot through downtown OP. Nothing else really catching my attention right at this time, but if you plan to be out and about at all over the next hour, it is going to be very difficult to travel. On top of this, you have significant rain that is falling, and you have so much lightning, we've had to turn it off of our products here. So travel not advised at all, especially now east of Kansas City over the next hour as this storm is racing about 40 to 45 miles per hour. So nothing new from reports either about that tornado warning. Luke, do you have a good feature on there? You want to show it?
Yeah, all right. So this is back to this first warn radar that we have with the ability to show where the spin is. And there's a spot I don't like the looks of this. Now, there's not a tornado warning on it now, but it is within that severe thunderstorm warning where we're monitoring for the possibility of tornadoes. And there's some spin here that we see. So south of Roland Park, right around Overland Park. I just want you to see that. There's not a tornado warning on it, but I see something there that if this were to continue, I would expect the National Weather Service would put a tornado warning on that. That is north of the one that is active. This is the one that's for Grandview and Belton and places like that. So we only have one tornado warning right now. And regardless if this is not going to get a tornado warning, it is producing some very strong winds. Here's another way to look at it. And I'm going to give you just an estimate of what the radar is putting out. So what does it think that the wind speeds are through here? It's probably going to be, you know, that's the warning, but it ought to be somewhere around 60 to 70 miles an hour. So let's see if we can pick up on some of these hotter spots. And there's 50. If it's 50, you know it's 60. So probably 60 mile per hour wind gusts within that. So I just saw that. I wanted you to see that as well. That's the strongest of the winds that I'm seeing right now is right around Overland Park. But there's all this, see how it's kind of real splotchy? All these little splotches that you see, each one of these where the reds and the greens meet up are little areas that we're going to have to monitor for potential, you know, rotation and spin ups. Right now, the only one that's strong enough is down here west of Lee Summit and by Belton. Okay, so let's get back to a standard view of the radar. And Warren, next, why don't we take a look at the rest of this evening? Because we do have the tremendous flood situation that's been going on, all the heavy rain. And then how long is this going to last? Our viewers would probably like to know that. So this is a standard view radar. And you can see strong storm, considerable severe thunderstorm warning that is punching through the KC Metro right now. Potential winds up to 70 miles per hour with that. So that can cause tremendous damage, lots of power outages, which we've seen. Also, really heavy rain is going to be going on with this. And we also have a tornado warning. I'm going to get to this tornado warning here in just a second and put a fresh track on that for you. But before we do, let's get over to Sharon. Sharon, you have power outage updates?
Yeah, we've been tracking this, Luke, and you just talked about 60 miles per hour winds. Those are very high winds. And so what we're hearing are power outages, particularly from the Lawrence and Gardner area. So we've been keeping track of this. When we first started monitoring, this number was at 4,800. It is now up to 5,000. Once again, concentrating on the South Johnson County area, which is now up to about 200. And I don't think that number's, there you go, just over 1,700, almost 1,800 people impacted by power outages at this point. You know, we can't say enough in this severe weather that if you do come across any power lines, down power poles, you need to stay away. They are very, very dangerous situations because those wires could be activated. So you want to call the utility. Luke, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Sharon. Good information there. And let's do a reset here. This is zoomed in over the Kansas City Metro. Nasty storm system coming through. We have potential 70 mile per hour straight line winds. Everybody in the yellow box, which is all of the Metro, is included in that. Don't be outside in this. This is not a time to go for, you know, the drive. It's not a time to be outside at all. With these 70 mile per hour wind possibilities, I mean, you're looking at trees going down, and that's the risk there. And also, we do have a tornado warning. That's the most urgent of everything that we have right now. So let me give you the update with this tornado warning. So currently, this is including Grandview, so southeast parts of Johnson County. Here, let me get you all the counties located with this. So that would be southeastern parts of Johnson County in Kansas. We've got Jackson County, the southern part of Jackson County in Missouri. This goes till 2:45. And then the northern section, very extreme northern section of Cass County in Missouri till 2:45. So we've got about another 25 minutes left with that warning. And within this, it's possible that a tornado could drop at any point. It's imminent. We see enough spin here with that. So let me switch back to the ability on our radar, our first warn radar, and what this does is it helps us isolate where it's most likely to happen. I got to say, it looks better. Warren, you see what I see here? Let's go back in time.
Yeah, I'm honestly more interested in that notch in OP.
Yeah,
than anything,
I think you're right.
But yeah, the warning. Yeah, I agree.
It looks better. We do still have a tornado warning. We're gonna treat it with respect. If the national weather, that's the thing with these though, everybody. These are going to be brief. All right, this is going to be.
We had a delayed report from law enforcement, a touchdown around 207th Cedar Nile. So again, that's a report, but potentially actually had a touchdown.
It may have had one, yeah. But that's what we expect with these. This is why there's going to be a warning, and it may not be something that is as impressive on radar to us as what it may typically be But these are quick little things. They drop down, then they pick right back up, and then they may not, look all that like they've got high rotation through the entire course of the warning. So good news. It does look better, but we do still have a tornado warning. If we had one now, latest scan just came in, it would be between Grandview and Loch Lloyd out of caution. Get to your safe spot in Grandview, Loch Lloyd, Martin City, Hickman Hills, Red Bridge. There it is. Latest scan just came in. If there were something, I would say the best shot would be between Red Bridge and Hickman Mills. It doesn't look overly strong to me. It looks much better, but we do still have the tornado warning till 2:45 in those locations there. So let's go back up here. Still watching around it just got out of Overland Park, this other little area that is the more impressive on radar. Okay, so Westwood Hills. So we just moved it north and east out of Overland Park. There's a little something going on here, guys. All right, so this spot right here around Westwood, there's KC, there's Turner. See the different colors, and it looks like we'd either have some strong wind gusts there or maybe some possible rotation, but no tornado warning on it. So that's a quick reset of where the worst of it is. The worst straight line winds probably on the north side of KC. The potential tornado and the warning that we have by Loch Lloyd and Lee's Summit. We also have a lot of rain, flooding, flash flooding. Warren, let's get to you with some of the warnings as far as the rain goes.
Actually, Luke, Melissa's texting you and I and says that sirens are going off in Brookside. So what's interesting there is there's not a tornado warning right now in Brookside, but they are under the considerable severe thunderstorm warning. So potentially that's why that was sounded. Again, those of you in the Brookside area or southern Kansas City at this time, you are not included in a tornado warning. So we think there could be some straight line wind gusts up to 70 plus miles per hour. So there's a potential they sounded sirens because of that. I don't know, but just we know that we know that there are sirens going off. Also to our news team, looks like 151st and Flum has some power lines down. All right, let's talk about flash flooding that we have going on, because that is a big concern of mine. Right now is the significant amount of rain that is continuing to fall and will fall with this next batch coming in as we speak. We've already had 1 to 3 inches of rain in spots, and we will continue to add more on top of that in a short amount of time. That's an issue. That we've got water over roadways. We've got creeks, streams, and rivers that are super full right now that can spill over. So please be mindful when you're going out this afternoon. This flash flood warning contains the entire Kansas City metro for the most part, except for the northeast corner, and that's until 7 p.m. So there will be water over roads. There will be the issues with ponding on roads, all the spray from the rain on roads because of the significant rain. That's all the way through the evening commute. So if you know anyone that's working in person, please just let them know that this is going to be around for quite some time, and the effects of it will be around for a while also, because water's a little bit of a delayed runoff type of situation. So here's a look at what our rainfall estimated totals are from the last 12 hours through this morning through now. You can see the swath through Jefferson, Leavenworth, and then over into Platte and southern parts of Buchanan County here. That's where we have potentially up to 3-4 inches of rain that's already fallen, where we've had 1 to 2 inches in Kansas City. And so you'll add more on top of that. And again, we're concerned about that. So everybody has a flash flood or a flood risk overnight and through the morning. It depends on where these stronger thunderstorms continue to track. So let's go ahead and walk you through the next few hours. I know that's something that a lot of people are concerned about. Once this leading edge that we have coming through right now, once that pushes through your neighborhood, your severe threat's going to fall off quite a bit. But then it starts to push more into central Missouri over, I would say, 4, 5, 6 o'clock this evening. And you can see we might still keep some of the Boeing segments with the strong wind gusts and potentially an isolated brief spin-up tornado. Haven't seen a lot of hail with any of this just yet, but heavy rain and frequent lightning also a big concern. So by 5 p.m., I still think we'll have rain and thunderstorms here in Kansas City, hopefully not to the severe level, and it shouldn't be. And then later this evening and into the early overnight, that's when things will start to taper off and push to the east. Your severe risk today, again, it's present for everybody, but we think as the storms tap into a little bit of better ingredients to our east, they might even amplify even more than that there. So here's a look outside. I don't know if we can take that. It's pretty ominous looking. I can't really read on the screen here where that is. Luke, where is this?
49 northbound just before 155th.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, real ominous. We'll obviously look for lowerings and things like that. I don't, nothing of concern at the moment. But these tornadoes that we've been, or the tornado warnings that we've been tracking are. Luke, do we have a new tornado warning? It looks like issues a tornado warning.
Yes,
Ray, Lafayette, and Jackson counties.
All right, bring it back.
Yeah, so
let's check it out. Okay, so new tornado warning. You know what that is? That's the one we've been watching.
Yeah.
It's that spot that Warren and I had been seeing.
Oh yeah, that notch there.
Look at that
too.
notch.
Yep.
All right, so that's a stronger signal that we've got. So this is southeast of downtown KC. So this is southeast of Roland Park. What we're watching is right here. That right there. So this is actually the storm itself with the spin in the atmosphere trying to curl the rain around, and we're seeing it right there. So this is just west of Raytown. There's 71. So this is going to be for Jackson County. Let me get the latest on the warning, and Warren, you can check reports if there's anything that is urgent that we need to get to on that side. So this goes till 3 o'clock. So Clay, Jackson, Lafayette, and Ray counties are currently the counties that are included in it, but at the moment, the point of the spin would be in Jackson County, Missouri. Okay, so it's moving east at 45 miles per hour. This would be just west of Raytown or west-northwest of Raytown. So it's going to be west of 435. It's between like Westport and Arrowhead. So it's not quite to Arrowhead. It's going to be east of Westport or right around Westport. This is 71 Highway. There's the latest scan. So now it's right by the stadium. Let's get to our stadium cam. If you guys can pull up the stadium cams, that would be fantastic. John, anybody that's got that? Okay. So we're looking around. Let me know if you see. So I see a lowering there, but that's a shelf cloud. That is not a wall cloud. That's a shelf cloud that we see. So, okay, keep your eye on that if you would, guys. But let's get back to the radar, and I'll show what this is. So this is going to be right by Arrowhead. Now I'm going to switch back to the colors here that look kind of like Christmas tree colors, and they help us to identify where the rotation might be. And it hasn't updated yet, Warren, but they've got it back by Westport still. Here comes the scan. There's the scan. Yep, right over Arrowhead. There it is. So if there is a tornado, there may be. It's right by Arrowhead. It'd be right over Arrowhead Stadium. If you're in this area, you need to get to your safe spot. It could be producing a tornado now or at any time. Good thing is that we have cameras on this thing. If it's going to drop, we're going to be able to see it pretty quickly. So we're going to watch this very closely for you. But if you're in this area, there we go. Okay, so you can see a wall of rain, real heavy rain. I don't see a tornado. But it doesn't mean it's not there. Sometimes these things wrap themselves up in rain and you can't see them. But there could be one, or one could drop quickly. We see enough ingredients on radar that in that zone, get to your safe spot. You've got, if you're in Independence, you have time. If you're by the stadium, get there right now. You and your family, get in there safely. And it goes eastward, east-northeastward at about 45. So let's get a track for you. Okay, so right by Raytown, northwest of Raytown, over by the stadium. I'm going to have to pull this view out. Ignore this one. I'm zoomed in too much. And again, Warren, if there's something that you see, it's like, hey, we need to know this, just hop in.
The National Weather Service just put something in, as you said, that tornado likely in progress near the stadiums.
Okay.
So we'll check the debris tracker here and see if I can see anything.
Yeah, why don't you get that dialed up, and while I go through the track, you can see if it's lofting debris, and then we'll go through this. So Independence, if there's a tornado there, which there very well may be, 2:36 would be your time. So what is it right now? You've got about 5 minutes in Independence. Here comes a wall of rain. Might be a tornado embedded within that. It's possible. The rotation is the strongest that we've seen so far today. Warren and I have been watching that before the tornado warning was issued. We saw it and said, hey, this thing looks like it's spinning up here north of the other tornado warning, and here we go. So a new one just got issued. So Buckner, 252 would be by the time it got to you. So you've got roughly 20 minutes or so in Buckner. So time to prepare. You don't want to go outside and take a peek at this thing because it's probably all wrapped up in rain. You wouldn't see anything anyway. And then Oric by about 3 o'clock. So that's at the end of the warning. That's our latest track. One more time, let's see where it's at, and then I want to get to Warren with our debris tracker. That's something else that our technology has the ability in the First Warren Weather Center is to, if this thing's on the ground, especially in Kansas City, it's going to throw debris up in the air and we'll see it. So we'll get there in just a second. But yeah, that's a pretty strong signal right there by Arrowhead, Warren. Strongest that we've seen. So, okay, let's get over to you with the debris tracker, see if it's confirming anything.
Sorry, I was reading and listening at the same time. So we have a considerable tag. Let's watch for a considerable tag, Luke, for that tornado. It just came out. There is a debris signature that we're seeing, and that is going to be right near Arrowhead. It's not anything. It is something. I shouldn't say that. There's likely some sort of branches, trees down, and that latest scan just came through. There's a little hot spot there just near I-70. I don't know. It's not standing out significantly, but it's a drop enough in our debris tracker that we, yeah, please.
From the National Weather Service, confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Raytown, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So we have a confirmed tornado.
So that's more to the south then from originally where they were saying.
Well, that would be, and if you see it right there.
That would be this debris signature down here over, right? Yeah, okay, let's take so we've got a couple of spots that we've been watching here.
Because that's where.
Yeah. So this is a significant drop in our correlation coefficient. So there's likely debris being lofted here at Raytown. So there's multiple spots on this line that we've been watching, and this one must have just flared up, Luke. And so we'll continue to see considerable. They put that considerable tag on here because of now seeing this tornado debris signature on radar. And so we've been watching that leading edge of it come through. We didn't see a whole lot of lowering, but it could be wrapped up in rain. We just don't know. But those of you in Raytown, I need you to be in your tornado shelters, lowest level of your house or whatever structure you're in. You need to be down away from windows, away from glass, because this is a dangerous situation that is unfolding literally second by second. So those of you near 59th Street, the heart of Raytown, kind of the north part of Raytown there, please be in your safe place. Woodson Road, this will be tracking down Blue Ridge Boulevard, Woodson Road, kind of in that general direction here very soon. So that's the latest with this. Luke, do you have anything new
No,
that you've seen?
What's odd, Warren, is where we track the winds, we see them, where the rotation is.
Right.
That's not showing up near Raytown, but where we're seeing the debris is over Raytown.
And they just said that in Raytown, right?
Yes, they said near Raytown.
Near Raytown.
So what we need to let you know is we see two areas of potential danger right now. One is over Arrowhead, and I'm wondering if something's going on because I'm not getting a lot of updates on my side.
Okay.
So if engineers are listening, let's make sure that we're getting good internet bandwidth. I'm not seeing a lot of movement over here on my end, okay? So I want to put that out there. But we see two areas of potential danger. One is the stadium, and the other one is Raytown. Both are within the same tornado warning. So if you're in this warning, I want you to treat it as though there is a tornado, because we have a confirmed. There is a tornado that we believe is near Raytown. So from what we can tell, from the debris tracker that is picking up debris, the tornado would be picking up the debris, throwing up into the air. It'd be right near Raytown, and that'd be moving east at about 45 miles per hour. So next in line would be possibly Little Blue, Independence. What do we have here? There are these water risks. What is this? Oh, semi on its side. Okay, yeah, okay, this is Raytown Road, 435 that you see on the side of your screen, and we've got a semi that's on its side. Obviously, looks like it's been blown over. So we have something came through there. Something came through there. And then, again, it doesn't look like there was a lot of vehicles that were impacted, but the wording that we get from the National Weather Service is large and extremely dangerous tornado located near Raytown. So I'm going to put this into a loop and see if we can get anything new. Has the debris tracker moved, Warren? Have you seen movement over there?
No, it hasn't with any scans. I'm not seeing any confirmation or any reports or anything like that. So I'll keep tabs on this. But the debris tracker, that drop in correlation coefficient hasn't changed.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Interesting.
Okay, so still, this is a particularly dangerous situation, everybody. All right, if you're near Raytown, Little Blue, Arrowhead, Independence, get to your tornado safe spot. Get there now. If there is a tornado, which we're being told there is from the National Weather Service, they confirmed it at 2:30, 4 minutes ago. They confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado. There's an update. I just got an updated scan. All right, so that just came through. Independence, there's a little spot there. Let me get rid of this warning. And I do not see it on my end let's go to the debris tracker. Warren, you're at the debris tracker.
Yeah,
See, what do you have there?
So I haven't had any changes in the location of the debris ball that we were seeing potentially, but this is exactly where the National Weather Service, that's why they issued that tornado warning and elevated it, because they said it was confirmed and that there was a tornado debris signature on radar that they were very concerned about. So this is still showing debris or something being lofted, trees, you know, any sort of debris at any scale here near Raytown. But I'm not seeing anything confirmed any more than that. I've had some comments saying people are in Raytown, but at this point, we don't have any confirmation other than what we're seeing on radar that this is, you know, tearing anything up at the moment, but we're going to treat it as such, right? That's why we have these tornado warnings. You need to be in your safe shelter, lowest level of your house or whatever structure you're in, and get away from those windows. But that's the Raytown signature feature here. And then the one that's near Independence a little bit, we'll watch that as well for any sort of drops in the correlation code, the debris tracker here. But at this time, I don't have any changes. So let me come through some of the reports and comments on our Facebook streams. If you're in Raytown and are in a safe place, please let us know what's going on there in your area.
Okay, bring it back to me. There's something I want to show you here, what I think is going on, and then we're going to reset. And I want to show you where the warnings are and what all's happening now. So we saw spin by Arrowhead, but then this, all right, so let's go back. I'm looking back in time. And what Warren and I were looking for are bright spots within our debris tracker. First Warren radar has the ability to spot debris, and there was something there just by East Gregory Boulevard, east of 435. Weather Service saw that. They put out a tornado, confirmed tornado. There it is, moving northeast by Raytown, so you can see the little spot there, and now it's gone. All right, so I don't see it anymore. So there may have been one. I'm not saying it's gone. I'm just saying I don't see the debris signature anymore on our end. So that's the latest from my end. We have an ongoing tornado warning that includes Raytown, although it would likely be just east of Raytown now, moving Independence, Blue Springs, Buckner, Grain Valley, all included in this. It's not as tight as it was once looking. This little spot right here by Independence has our attention, and then this one down here that's now east of Raytown, south of 435. If you're in Raytown and west, you're under the tornado warning, but your tornado threat's gone. You guys are doing okay. So Raytown and west, you're doing all right. Independence, north and east toward Buckner, get to your safe spot. Tornado is possible. And then in Blue Springs as well. So there's kind of two areas within one warning that we're monitoring. So right along, this is going to be right along 70 that we're going to watch this second one. One's north of 70, right by 24 Highway. One is along 70, moving toward Blue Springs. So those are the two zones with that tornado warning. Now we do have another tornado warning that is to the south, and this one includes Loch Lloyd and Grandview. Let's see what the latest is on this one. This one goes till 2:45, so we've got another 7 minutes on this. This is Cass, Jackson, and Johnson counties. So Jackson County, Missouri, Johnson County in Kansas. So that, but it looks like it's passed. Looks like it's, let's see. All right, so with this one, I'm going to go to our winds and see if there's anything that stands out here. Nothing for me that jumps out as a likely point of rotation, so just anywhere within that line. We're going to monitor Loch Lloyd, Grandview points east. If you're west of Loch Lloyd, then even though you're under the warning, you look like you're going to be okay. So we're going to be looking toward Belton, Grandview, eventually Lee's Summit. There's a possibility that something could spin up quickly within this zone. Right now, nothing looks obvious to me to track out with that. So beyond that, there's a lot going on. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that is packing 70-mile-per-hour straight-line winds. So let's kick off the lightning. There's going to be a lot of lightning with this. Let's kick off the lightning and just go through a little tour here. All within this yellow box that we see, this is 70-mile-per-hour straight-line winds that are possible. Within those straight-line winds, we can get little spots that want to spin and rotate. So we're going to watch for that all the way from Lewisburg up to Excelsior Springs at the leading edge of that line. Now it looks like the worst of it is past the metro. But going from Independence to Liberty, Missouri City, Excelsior Springs, all through here, 60, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible. The strongest would be at this leading edge where we could have also a tornado, which would be near Independence. And then southward toward Unity Village, Grandview, Belton, Another tornado warning there, but if you don't get that, you're probably going to get gusty winds, 60, maybe 70 miles per hour, all that moving to the east. After you get hit with this initial strong line, the severe risk for you is going to drop off quickly. After that, it's just going to be heavy rain, but we still have our flood threat for the night. So, Warren, are you hearing anything about this tornado?
Yeah, so at this time, no. The latest that I just have a lot of people commenting on our Facebook streams, asking about their location and letting us know in certain spots, if sirens are still going on or not. But at this point, we don't have anything new from the National Weather Service or any sort of emergency management. One of the big things that I am getting, though, and I don't want to overshadow this because this is also very dangerous, we have flash flood warnings for the entire Kansas City metro, and those are in effect for many more hours, all the way through that evening commute. And so the newest one was added here for Caldwell, Clay, Clinton, and Ray counties. Again, so much rain has already fallen, and we're adding even more to that. So flash flooding, a big concern. I know that this is a very busy time of the day, and will get increasingly more busy, but please, if you can, stay off roads and let this strong line of thunderstorms come through and then settle down a little bit later on, and then you can do errands and go to the grocery store and all that stuff. But if you plan to be out, and I would say the next 3 hours, don't plan another different plan, because you don't need to be out and about. We have flash flood warnings all over the place, and it is a mess. So that's something I do want to remind you. Another thing with the severe thunderstorm warning, that it's a big warning, and I want to show that warning now because we do have a lot of you that are asking about your neighborhood. So where this yellow box goes, basically from downtown Kansas City all the way up to Smithville, includes Excelsior Springs, down out to Oak Grove, and then to Harrisonville and Lewisburg. That's the extent of the severe thunderstorm warning, because there could be 70-mile-per-hour winds in that warning. Now, we've already seen multiple tornado warnings with this, as they're brief notches that can spin up a tornado. So I don't want you to think that if you're not near the warning, that you can't have one of these happen quickly. So prepare yourself. If you are in this severe thunderstorm warning, treat it like it is a tornado warning, because you might only have moments if you needed to hit your shelter. And this is a very quickly evolving line of thunderstorms. When we get the bow echoes like this, they are nasty and they mean business. So anyone that is still under the severe thunderstorm warning, please just go ahead and shelter in, hunker down for a little while, and let's let this pass through. It is really strong in our eastern Kansas City metro communities at this time. It looks like they did change and scale this tornado warning back a little bit, Luke. I don't know if you saw anything new that came through.
Yeah, let me tell you what I think is going on here, because there's some confusion. Let's be honest. If you're in this tornado warning, I want you to know that anybody in this warning, you need to be, just get to a safe spot. There's some things going on here that are unclear, where we're getting parts of our information is showing rotation and a potential tornado in one spot, and then other parts are showing potential tornado in another spot, like the debris tracker. So the winds in the debris tracker haven't necessarily been lining up, and there's been some confusion. So I just want to put that out there so we're all clear that in this zone, just what you need to know is if you're in the red box, if you're in a tornado warning, then a tornado is possible. That said, I do see right now what I think is the most likely area. Can you guys switch me over to Max 1, please? I'm on Max 1 out here at the wall. There we go, thank you. So this is our Doppler winds. First Warn Future, our First Warn radar can show us where the winds are spinning. And the National Weather Service has been monitoring this as we've been walking you through it, and they still have extended a possible large and dangerous tornado. Now they're saying east of Independence, and what we're seeing is right here. It's this spot right here. So this would be south of Ripley. If there's a tornado there, which there very well may be, this has been confirmed per the National Weather Service, then it would be south of Ripley right now, east of East Independence. Let's get you some highways here. It's going to be just west of Lake City. If you're in Lake City right now, you need to get to your tornado safe area. Get there quickly. And then Buckner too. All right, so 24 highway right here. 7 highway runs north and south. So it's just south of 24 highway, just west of 7 highway. It's east of Independence. It's east of East Independence. It's south of Blue Mills. It's moving northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So next in line, Lake City. After that would be Buckner. All right, so the latest as of 2:41 from the National Weather Service is a tornado warning remains in effect until 3. That's another 15 minutes. The wording is a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Independence. Now it's east. If you're in Independence or East Independence or anywhere in that area and you've seen something, please put it on our Facebook comments. We would love to share that information publicly, let everybody know what you guys are seeing there. And it says the hazard is a damaging tornado. This is a particularly dangerous situation and we need to take cover. So on my end, it's right there. That's what I can point to and say that's where the tornado would be. So with that, let me track this out for you. Warren, since we've got the update, I'm just curious. I mean, this is in a heavily populated area. We should be having something come through.
Yeah, nothing from the Weather Service at this time.
So to have an extremely large and dangerous tornado in a densely populated area and not have reports coming in is a good thing. Is it, because
that means there's not a bunch of damage or at least that we know of.
They would be flying in, but still, we want to treat it as though it's exactly what's happening. So time, 2:53 in Buckner, 3:02 in Napoleon. The warning goes till 3, so we'll see if it gets extended beyond that. Otherwise, Wellington about 3:10 and Lexington at about 3:20 if it were to continue to rotate. So that's the breakdown on the tornado warning. Goes till 3 o'clock. Right now, just west and southwest of Buckner, Lake City, it's imminent. There is a possible tornado imminent for you in Lake City. Blue Mills, it's probably going to stay just to your south. Independence, it is to your east. And Buckner would be next. Lake City and Buckner. Let me loop this, and then you can kind of get the track. All right, so it's kind of a long loop, but watch, it goes from East Independence, so it's kind of tracking like this, going from East Independence, Lake City, Buckner, and then off to the northeast. So that's what we see there. Okay, so let's see if the other tornado warning has expired. All right, so the one that we had by Lee's Summit, that one is gone. Good news there, like to see that improvement. We didn't see much spin with that one, but you might still have some 70-mile-per-hour winds with that. So that would be moving toward Grandview and Lee's Summit. Still, the metro is being impacted by nasty severe storms, lots of heavy rain and flash flooding. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that includes the possibility of 70-mile-per-hour winds all within that line. That goes up to Excelsior Springs. Kansas City, we're getting better. All right, so the worst of this is done for downtown Kansas City. The worst of this is done for Olathe, Bonner Springs, Overland Park, Leavenworth. West of that line, we're doing much better, okay? So that's, from here out, it's still going to be the flood threat. We've got flash flood warnings in effect, but the tornadic and severe wind threat along this line into the west, that will be dropping very quickly. Okay, Warren, let's reset a little bit.
Yep.
Let's look at watches and see that you've got those pulled up, and Facebook comments, whether or not people are seeing anything.
Yeah, so thankfully at this moment, I don't have a lot of reports from our viewers, and thank you again for all of your comments. I'm reading through them as quickly as I can. We have a lot of questions at the moment, so we're going to try to answer those for you in the next few minutes between Luke and I. We'll get you set up. We'll look at the whole Kansas City metro. We're going to try to help some of you ease a little bit of the storm anxiety. I totally understand, and we'll let those of you know that are in the path to please shelter, and we'll talk through all of that here. So let's first start with the tornado watch that we have in place. That is going to be in effect until 8 p.m. So as this line continues, it's pushed to the east. Those of you into central Missouri, especially, and including, Warrensburg, Johnson County, and Pettis County, and near the Missouri River, you need to be prepared for strong straight line wind gusts and potentially a spin-up tornado or two, and that's going to be over the next few hours. So we think that from now through about probably 5 p.m. is going to be the strongest chunk of time here with the KCTV coverage area. So that is the watch that is in place. Yes, we have had warnings. Again, the difference between watch and a warning: watch, conditions are favorable; warning, it's happening, please take shelter. And so as we continue to watch this come through, no pun intended there, we do have a larger severe thunderstorm warning and then the smaller tornado warning that is embedded within this. Both of them have the white outline, so that is a sign that they are strong, and both of these things are considered very dangerous. Now, the actual severe thunderstorm warning, that is the larger yellow polygon here, as we take a more zoomed in approach. Those of you that are in near I-35 from basically Kansas City to Excelsior Springs or near Excelsior Springs, but really on the front edge of this. So if you haven't been touched by the leading edge of this thunderstorm line yet, you really need to be heads up, be prepared, because this is pushing to your east, or to the east, excuse me, into your area here shortly. Those of you in Oak Grove, be prepared. This is a nasty storm coming your way. Also Richmond and near the Missouri River all the way to downtown Kansas City. Lee Summit knocking on your doorstep as well right now, and basically coming through Loch Lloyd and Harrisville. You'll kind of stay right on the southern edge of this. So as it continues its march to the east at about 40 to 45 miles per hour, it will still have the threat for wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. That is within this entire line of storms. But then there are a few notches, embedded circulations that we are watching. That's why those tornado warnings have been issued along this line. So if you are on the western side of the line, if you're in downtown, if you're in Johnson County on the Kansas side, if you're in Leavenworth County, Platte County, up near the airport, you are all clear from this destructive line of storms coming through. But those of you that are on the leading edge and east, please be watching this closely. We very well could have another brief spin up or tornado, on the ground here. So that's something that we're going to continue to watch. And I'll send it back over to you, Luke.
Okay, thanks, Warren. And next we'll do the forecast radar. Just give people an idea of what's going to be happening through the rest of tonight. But the most urgent situation that we've got, there's a lot happening here, is the tornado warning that we've got for Jackson County in Missouri. And let's just stay with this, because we've got from the National Weather Service, confirmed tornado. And I just want to show you what I see on my side. I see some things that are good, but we want to treat this as though there's a tornado right now on the ground, and it's near Buckner, okay? If you're west, all right, here comes the latest scan. Check that out. That's a strong signature that I do see. West of that, Independence, you're in the warning, but you're okay, all right? The tornado would be near Buckner, all right? So where we see this appendage, see that right there, that little kind of finger-looking thing? That's where the tornado would be. It's wrapping the rain around it. It is rain-wrapped. Don't go out and look at it. You're not going to see anything. You're just going to see rain. So get to your safe spot. Sibley, Buckner, these are the spots now. It's east of Lake City where the tornado would be. Let's investigate, all right? So I'm going to do a deep dive with you here. We've got a lot of technology that helps us see where tornadoes would be. This would be right over Buckner, okay? So this is 24 Highway. This is South Sibley Street, right downtown Buckner is where this would be. I'm zoomed way in here. We're going street level for you here. So it is right there. And Lake City, it went past you. Now something else I want to see is it lofting debris? Is it hitting things and lofting debris into the air? And that at one point it was doing that. Is it still doing that? I don't see debris on my debris tracker. So that doesn't mean it's not there, but it is worth noting. Earlier it did. It was doing that previously. So back to just the standard radar for you.
And you can stay on, Luke, here, but I'm going to go ahead and just chime in. The National Weather Service just wants to reiterate tornado circulation moving into Buckner right now.
Yeah.
And then they extended the severe thunderstorm warning, so we can get to that whenever.
Okay, well, this warning is going to the tornado warning is going to have to be extended here soon, because it's about to outrun. Here's where the tornado is. This is the end of the warning. This tornado warning expires at 3. That's 7 minutes away. So this is probably, did they extend the severe thunderstorm?
They did. But the tornado warning has not been extended just yet, but the severe thunderstorm warning has, more east.
And the wording from them, Warren, is tornado moving into Buckner?
Yeah, so they said tornadic circulation is moving into Buckner, is what the Weather Service said.
Okay, that's what we're seeing here. But not confirming that it's there right now.
Correct.
On the ground. Okay.
Just
so we see the
radar, yep.
Yes. Okay. So that's been the point of confusion. Is we see the circulation, we see the possibility of tornado, but the Weather Service put out a confirmed this is there. It's a large and dangerous tornado. That's the type of warning that we have. So that goes for another 6 minutes. So Buckner, if you are in Buckner, if you are near Buckner, Sibley, Levacy, this is going to get to your tornado safe spot right now. You need to be there. Keep you and your family safe. That's all we're trying to tell you, is that this is nothing to play with, and strong circulation's been pointed there, and this is confirmed from the National Weather Service, and it's going to be in your area. So we see that. Moving out ahead, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's been extended. So this, let's see if it's still considerable. It is. So still possible 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. that is marching east now from Richmond to Oak Grove and Carrollton, just west of Carrollton. So this whole batch of storms here is pretty nasty, sliding to the east, packing winds, and at times some rotation with it, and a lot of heavy rain with it as well. So these red boxes that you see, these are all the flash flood warnings that we have, where we could have some flash flooding issues on the roadways, things that we've already seen. Okay, so we've got Brad. He's upstairs in the newsroom, I believe. Brad, what do you have for us?
Oh, right down here in the studio, right next to you, Luke. I want to show you what's going on the roadways here. I mean, this is clearly causing a lot of impact all across Kansas City. This is happening on I-435 southbound, right at Stadium Drive. There was a semi-truck that was apparently blown over in the strong winds. That has caused this backup. I mean, traffic stopped. It's not going anywhere southbound. It's okay northbound here on 435. So this is just one indication of what's going on the roads. I was on the roads driving in from the Overland Park, Leawood area. The rain just coming down like cats and dogs. Our Gianni Navarro is also out on the storm tracker. Gianni, you were on 435 out by the Triangle. Is that where you are right now?
Hey, Brad. Yeah, currently near 435, heading towards Raytown at the moment. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I hope you can, but you can also see, like you mentioned, just the rain coming down extremely hard. Our windshield wipers right now are definitely on high at the moment. Cars are going at a slower speed, but you can just see that rain is coming down pretty hard. Visibility is not terrible, but it's not too good either. So definitely taking it slow out on the roadways at the moment.
No doubt. Oh my gosh. I mean, you look at that, and that's an indication of what's going on. I was just told by our executive producer, Ronnie Hawkins, just told me that there's another flip semi, 635. And where was that, Ronnie? Can you repeat that? And Parallel Parkway in KCK. This is right on the screen right here, but another indication of these strong winds that just roared through the Kansas City metro, blowing over. This would be the second semi that has apparently been blown over by these strong winds. So 635 southbound right here at 38th Street in Kansas City, Kansas. So Luke, you've been showing it to us on radar, and then we take a look at these city cams throughout the metro, and man, did this come through with full force.
It did, and it strengthened quickly. We had a tornado watch that got issued. It was right before 2 p.m. And then 5 minutes later, there was a warning that was issued. Usually a watch comes out hours before there are warnings. So this really did escalate quickly. We saw things happen and evolve rather rapidly. And as it came through, it punched out some of those high winds. And we do have an extension on the tornado warning. So let me get this for you. Let me point out first, there's a bunch of us that are currently under a tornado warning that are safe from any tornado threat. If you're west of Buckner, you are okay, all right? It's passed. The warning just hasn't been dropped yet, but it will. Now, we've got a new warning that is for Oric and Wellington and Richmond. That is for a possible tornado. So previously, where it has, you see how it's got this white outline here? This was confirmed. It is no longer a confirmed tornado. We do still see rotation. A tornado is possible. One could occur imminently. So we want you to see that. There's another look at the overturned semi. You can see it on the side of your screen. So that's Parallel Parkway and what is that? You guys tell me? KCK. It's KCK Parallel Parkway. 635, thank you. Okay, 635 Parallel Parkway is where that one was blown over. But where I'm showing you is by Buckner, so well east of the metro. And now the rotation has just moved past Buckner, and it would be south of Oric. It would be moving west. It's west of Wellington, south of Oric, but no longer confirmed. So let's see what we've got here with this latest warning. This is going to go until 3:30. So Clay, Jackson, Lafayette, Ray County, so we're in Missouri, of course. And Jackson, it's just about done with you, about to cross the county line. So Lafayette and Ray primarily is who this is going to be for. Now let's see if we can pop out. I'm going to go back to our Doppler winds, that technology that helps us spot where the tornadoes are. And wow, it's looking better. It is looking better. I can see why the Weather Service is pulling back on their wording with it. So I see some winds here, and there's a chance of some spin, but it is not nearly as tight as it was, back over here by Buckner. By Buckner, you can see the Christmas tree colors, all right? So you've got the red right next to the orange. This is how it looked, 20 minutes ago? and then we go forward and we lose that. So still, this is how today is played out, where we have these brief things. They just pop up and down rather quickly. So tornado warning continues. I want you to know that. Napoleon, Wellington, Lexington, Richmond. This is going to go until 3:30, another half hour. So we're going to watch that for you. Let me get you a track, and then we're going to go to Warren and get an idea of how the rest of tonight plays out in just a minute. Okay, so if we were to have one, I think it would be right over here west of Napoleon, moving northeast at about 45, right there. So that would be 309 in Wellington, 317 in Lexington. Get to your tornado safe area just to be safe. There may be one that could drop any minute. Hardin at 324, and then just past the warning time would be Norborn. That would be 335. So that's what we have there. Let's go to Warren. I know a lot of us are wondering, how's this look for the rest of tonight? I've got, things happening tonight. I need to know when we're safe. Let's get to Warren, and he'll punch that out for you.
Absolutely. So one thing I do want to note is someone's saying sirens are on the plaza. That shouldn't be happening. So the Kansas City proper is not in the tornado warning right now. It is, again, pushing to the east of Kansas City right now. And so those of you that are into central Missouri, watch this line here over the next few hours. That is where we're going to have this start to, push through, and honestly, I think it's going to tap into some pretty good ingredients. I don't see any signs of it weakening. So those of you into central Missouri here, so we're talking down into Odessa, Marshall, Warrensburg, Johnson County on the Missouri side, Pettis County, also Sheraton County, Lynn County. Be ready for this to continue to push in over the next probably hour or two, and that will be it'll continue its strength. I don't see any reason why this is going to throttle down at this time. We're in the heart of the day. You guys have been a lot warmer into this vicinity, especially to the southeast of Kansas City. So even down into Bates, Henry, Benton counties, just be ready for this strong line to continue its march. I know you're dry right now, and you're probably thinking, what thunderstorms? But if you look to your west here shortly, you will see ominous skies, and this line continues to push through. So the evening commute still could have some rain and thunderstorms on the backside of it, which we'll show you live radar. We're seeing a large swath of rain behind this leading edge line. So through 6 p.m., that evening commute still will probably be a bit messy. Standing roadway, water, things like that. Your creeks, streams, and rivers are already very swollen. Then you get into the overnight, and most of this pushes well out of the KCTV coverage area, and we do start to throttle back, and we will have a mainly dry Wednesday. So that is really from now, I'd say through about 5 p.m., I think that is going to be our KCTV coverage area's, peak of the strong thunderstorms. And so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at some of the latest reports coming in, and I will send it over to you, Luke.
Thanks, Warren.
Yep.
Hey, just shout if you see anything.
Sounds
we need
good.
to know. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's go. This is 435. If we could even make that larger, there's an incredible amount of cars on the road. This is at 435 southbound and 23rd Street. There you go. Look at that. I mean, this is what you run into tonight, everybody. If you're going to be out on the roads, you don't want to be out there. They're dangerous just because there's so many cars out there. We've got nasty weather. We've had high winds knock over semi-trailers in multiple locations. We're worried about standing water on the roadways. We've got the entire Kansas City Metro is under a flash flood warning right now. So it's just nasty out on those roads. Let's start again. Kind of pull the view out. I want you to have a good sense of what's going on. This line right here, Chillicothe, Richmond, Oak Grove, Belton, Freeman, Lacine. This is all the strongest part of the line right now. If you've had this come through, which we have in Kansas City, then things are going to get better for us, all right? It's still raining. We're still going to have flood issues. The severe threat, the tornado threat in Kansas City is done, all right? So we've wrapped up with it. It does continue, though, at the leading edge of that line. We do have a tornado warning right now that is south of Richmond, around Oak Grove, east of Oak Grove. Let's show you that. And I want to keep, it's actually around Buckner. So Oak Grove, it's actually a bit of ways from you, so around Buckner. And what we're watching here are brief areas of rotation that can spin up along the leading edge of this line. Earlier, we did have a confirmed tornado from the National Weather Service. That was around Lake City and Raytown. We also saw strong rotation around the stadiums, around Arrowhead. So we've had a history of it today, and that continues now. So this warning goes for another 25 minutes. This goes till 3:30, moving northeast from around Buckner to Oric and Napoleon. There's Richmond and Wellington, Hardin, Lexington, 3:30, all in this zone. Just be ready. A tornado could drop at about any time if one's not there now. It may be, it's not confirmed, it would be wrapped in rain. We don't have eyeballs on it to confirm that it is or is not. The bigger box that you see here, this yellow box, everybody that's under this is a severe thunderstorm warning. This is where you could have 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, all right? So let's see if there's some spots that jump out to us on here where we could be seeing, because they, again, have been knocking over semi-trailers. This is some nasty stuff. So let's see where they may be most intense. There's a bright spot, so we're going to look for the bright spots. Just west of Lee's Summit, that one could be rather strong. South of Belton, Riverview Estates over here by Raymore, just west of Raymore, moving into that area would be a zone to watch. Going up north, this whole batch that is near and north of the tornado warning. So Rayville, just east of Excelsior Springs, Bramer, all through there, those really bright reds that we see, that's just updating for us now. That right there is the potential tornado just north of Napoleon, southeast of Oric. This right here would be 70-mile-per-hour potential straight line winds. That's going to be moving east. So Richmond, you would be north of the tornado circulation. That's down here, Wellington and Napoleon. If you're here, you need to be in your safe spot, all right? So we do see rotation on radar there. And then on the back side of it all, you can see there's a lot of rain still, but it's just not nearly as intense. This is going to last into the evening, but it won't be as intense as what we've had here lately. So that's a setup for us. Let's get over to Brad. Brad, you got an update for us?
Yeah, we just continue to show you what's happening all across the metro. Traffic-wise, and look at this. This is 435 and 40 Highway in Independence. A crash here, and it has just absolutely brought these lanes to a complete standstill. So again, Luke, as you've been warning people, this is what it looks like. If you're going to be out on the roads, you might run into some of this congestion and wrecks and just people who are at a standstill now because of this weather that is causing wrecks and accidents and all kinds of problems on the roads. Not to mention, there's pooling that's going on the roads as well. Speaking of the roads, our Gianni Navarro is out on the KCTV5 Storm Tracker. Gianni, I can see it's not raining as hard where you are now when we last checked in with you.
Hey, Brad. So we were on the highway. We kind of hopped off to come onto Blue Parkway in Raytown. We are currently in Raytown right now because we did have reports earlier that we saw some activity in this area. So we wanted to come down here to see if we saw anything. Yes, the rain is still coming down. We are experiencing for sure ponding on the roadways, especially those on-ramps and off-ramps. So just be careful with that. If you are traveling, that's definitely where we're seeing that water kind of build up. I think the rain kind of comes down harder, Brad, when you are on the highway, so it's still coming down pretty good, but when you're going at a slower speed, of course, it's not hitting your windshield as hard. But as you can see, our windshield wipers are still on high at the moment. But yeah, so be careful when you're out on the roadways. We are seeing, of course, lots of lightning flashes out here as well, and that rain is still coming down, Brad.
Yeah, you are in the thick of it for sure. Gianni, thank you. All right, we want to get right over to Warren Sears with the latest updates.
Yeah, Brad, I'm looking through all of our Facebook comments right now, and a significant amount of local municipalities have sirens sounding that should not be sounding. So I'm hoping that I can help. I mean, I have hundreds of comments coming in right now. So let's go ahead and stop radar here. I just want to show you, we're talking Gladstone. We're talking the Plaza area. We're talking Liberty. Anyone in the Kansas City immediate 435 loop, you should not have your tornado sirens going at this time. There is no threat for a tornado, and the strongest part of this line has passed through. So again, all of these comments continue to come through. Raytown, you do not have a tornado threat at this time. Independence, you're not in a tornado threat right now. Not even Blue Springs anymore. Buckner, it has passed you. There's still some embedded strong wind gusts in here, but at this moment, we don't have tornado sirens or tornado warnings for any of these locations that are sounding the sirens. So Jackson County, we should not have most of you here. It looks like at this point, the warning's out of Jackson County. Jackson County should not be sounding any sirens anymore right now at this time. There are strong wind gusts, as I mentioned, but tornado sirens are not to be sounded because there is no tornado threat in Jackson County right now. Same thing with Platte. Same thing with Clay counties. You are not in a tornado warning at this time. So I hope that can help. Johnson County on the Kansas side, Wyandotte County, Leavenworth, no one at this moment in the immediate 435 loop or even into most of our metro area, what we would consider is under a tornado warning at this time. So hopefully that clears some things up. We'll continue to reiterate that because people are going to to continue to join us. But if you see comments on our Facebook streams, let us know. I'm send it over to Sharon. Sharon, you have some power outage updates.
We do, Warren. You and Luke have been talking this afternoon about the high winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour, and we are certainly seeing some of that impact. Now, this is the Evergy map, and we've been monitoring this area here, which is South Johnson County. The numbers right now are pretty much double what they were when we first started the coverage. More than 10,000 customers now with their power out. When we started our coverage today, I believe that number was closer to 4,800. So you can see this storm is definitely making a huge impact around the Kansas City area. And we're not talking just the Kansas side, which is what we were monitoring earlier, but these numbers are now also coming from the Missouri side as well. We do know that we have heard that a lot of the power outages are in the Gardner area, South Johnson County area. And then as this storm moves on, I certainly believe that that number is going to continue to go up. And again, we can't remind you enough, stay away from those active power lines. If you come across any down ones or down power poles, just stay away. Luke, will send it over to you.
Thank you, Sharon. And Warren, thank you too for, that's so important. Whenever sirens are blowing and there's nothing out there, we need to let you know. So thank you for telling us that. Now we can let everybody know there is no tornado threat, just like Warren had said, in Kansas City, in Overland Park, and some of these places where they have been going off. Now we do have a tornado warning, and I want to zoom back in on that. So within this line right here, this is the nasty line of storms. All of that is a severe thunderstorm, and this warning indicates the possibility of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which is what we've seen, which is what's blown over the semi-trailers on the roads. And within that, you can get areas of enhanced rotation, which we see. So this is now a tornado warning that is going until 3:30. So this is until this is 3:11, so another 20 minutes. And this is a radar indicated tornado warning. So this means that rotation is there. We don't know for sure if there is a tornado there, but one could be there, one could drop imminently. So you want to treat that as such and be in a safe area if it's moving over your area. So Lafayette and Ray counties till 3:30, tornado warning. It would likely be just north or near Wellington. If you're by Napoleon, if you're by Fleming, if you're by Oric, it's past you. You're going to be okay. All right, so now it's going to be moving toward Henrietta, and we'd be looking at Richmond and Hardin, Lexington, places like that. So let me see if I can spot, sometimes we can and sometimes we can't, where it most likely would be occurring. We got a fresh scan coming in. Doesn't look overly strong. I do like that the rotation intensities come back a little bit, but you see how it's just kind of messy through here? It's not strong, but within this zone around and just north of Wellington, could be a quick tornado try to drop in that zone. So just be on guard. Now, let me give you a track on that and see when you could expect it. Okay, real quick, let me get you a track here, moving northeast at 45, and so Lexington 320, Dover Station would be about 330, 340. That's past the warning. That would be Norborn. We'll watch it if anything happens past that. Warren, let's get over to you. What are you seeing?
Yeah, so just looking through some of our comments and the chat with the National Weather Service, and I agree. They are looking at this bright spot here, and I'll show you radar in just a second, but there's a little bit of a Boeing segment that is developing on the northern end of this line. So Livingston County, Chillicothe, be ready. It's not to severe limits. You're just out of the warning right now, but this part right here specifically, let me stop it and go back to our radar product, and they just issued one. So let's get the latest on that. It's not a tornado warning. It is a severe thunderstorm warning, but you can see here we're developing, and it has happened very fast. We've developed this nice Boeing segment on radar here, and that's what we've been tracking. And we are seeing a Boeing segment that is developing in western Livingston County near Chillicothe. So this is the new warning. Let me get you a look at that here real quick and some of the specifics on that new warning. It looks like damaging winds are a little bit more of a concern at this time. We don't have rotation, but there could be up to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And let me get the latest on that. 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail. It is moving to the east here at about 40 miles per hour. And at this time, it is not considerable. So that means that if we see strengthening, maybe up to 70 miles per hour, then they would elevate it. But it is a base severe thunderstorm warning at this time until 4:15, and that does include Caldwell, Davies, Grundy, and Livingston counties here. So that is the new warning. This is now growing farther to the north. I want to take a trip over to Brad here in studio with a look at some traffic.
All right, thanks, Warren. We just wanted to show you one of our vantage points of if you're taking the roads out here. This is in Lee's Summit right now. The vantage point where they are right now, I mean, you just can't hardly see anything. I mean, their windshield wipers are going as fast as they can, but this is just some of the weather that we're experiencing right now in the Kansas City area. Again, this is in the Lee's Summit area. And we can continue to see accidents around the area. We've seen 2 semis that have been blown over by the strong winds that roared through the Kansas City area that has caused traffic problems out by the stadiums. It's caused traffic problems in Kansas City, Kansas, out by Parallel Parkway. I'm looking right now at this. This is, 635 southbound at Swartz in the Argentine neighborhood in KCK, but there was a one vehicle crash on the leftbound or on the left shoulder here, but you can see emergency vehicles out. Again, another indication of what you may encounter if you're out on the roadways right now as this powerful storm continues to move through our area and leave all this rain in the aftermath. So again, roadways not great, Luke, as I'll send it back to you, and we'll continue to keep monitoring the roadways and let you know what's happening out there.
Yeah, it's a multi-tiered thing, Brad. We had the nasty winds that came through, packing 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and then on top of that, all the heavy rain and the flash flooding. So we've got flash flood warnings ongoing all around Kansas City and the metro and places beyond. So Warren is going to tell us about that in just a second. Before we do that, though, again, we do have an urgent situation with a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Some of us are under the gun for 70-mile-per-hour winds. We do have a tornado warning. I want to walk us through that, and if you're in a danger spot, I want you to know exactly what we're dealing with, what's going to happen next, and then we're going to go to Warren, and he's going to tell us about the flood threat. Before I do that, though, look at this. All right, this is rain. The severe threat's done in Kansas City, okay? I just want you to see that. A lot of us, if I don't hit you on this line, then your severe threat is done. You can rest easier. Just know that the flood threat will be a concern. Okay, so 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We've not had a lot of hail today. The storms have not been prolific hail producers. You might get a nickel-size, batch here or there, but primarily wind. The leading edge of this batch up here by Chillicothe, you could have 60-mile-per-hour winds within that nose, the very leading edge of that. Okay, so we slide down. These have been stronger. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. This is going from south of Chillicothe back toward Richmond. Through there, could have some areas of enhanced wind to 70 miles per hour. Here is our tornado warning. Okay, so this is now east of Wellington, near Lexington. So we're in Missouri right here. And this would be just southwest, most likely, of Lexington up toward Richmond. This little spot right in here is where we've seen some rotation. So this is not confirmed. We wouldn't see it most likely even if it were producing a tornado because there's so much rain around. Next in line would be Hardin. So if you're in this zone until 3:30, so we've got about, another 13 minutes left with this. This is going to be for portions of Lafayette and Ray counties until 3:30. Tornado warning continues there near Lexington, east of Wellington, through Hardin. Tornado safe spots where you want to be until this is passed. It is past Wellington, all right? And then we go south. So you're getting closer to the southeast side of the KC Metro. Grain Valley, Lake Lotawana, Lee's Summit. These are still some gusty winds, 60, maybe 70 miles per hour in a few spots over here by Pleasant Hill and down by Peculiar. This is going to move out rather rapidly. Let me put a loop on this for you. There you go, and you can see that this is punching eastward. Give this another 45 minutes. It's going to be much better. Then your severe threat will be done. If you're out ahead of this, it's still going to be tracking Carrollton, Brunswick, Higginsville, Warrensburg, Chilhowie, Holden, all of that's going to be sliding towards you. So that's going to be the next play. So the other concern is the flash flooding that we've got. Warren has he's got a setup with all the warnings and what we can expect the rest of tonight. So Warren, let's get to
a lot of people are telling me their community is figuratively underwater, but I know that there are some issues out there with roadways actually being submerged, creeks, streams, rivers. If you live in a flood-prone area, you are likely going to have flooding with this batch of thunderstorms that continues to push through. And even once the severe risk has dropped in your area, we still have multiple more hours of rain. It's not a good situation, especially now that we're getting into almost 3:30, and then you've got the evening commute that really is going to ramp up here in the next 2 hours. It's just looking messy, and I really hope that you were able to adjust your travel plans accordingly into this afternoon and evening, because there's no need to be out there whatsoever. We've continued to show you wrecks all over the place and flipped semis and water on roads, whatever it may be. And so there is a flash flood warning in place for the entirety of the Kansas City metro. It basically goes out through Leavenworth, Platte, Clay counties, and it goes into Jackson and Northwest Cass, Johnson on the Kansas side, and northern Miami here. And that is because too much rain has fallen in a very short amount of time. And I'll take a look at some of these. And most of the warnings are in place until 7:30, just depends on which one you're looking at. But there could have already been, in the last 12 hours, 2 to up to 5 inches that has fallen. And again, that's so much rain in a short time. You start to get into the city, you have a lot of concrete, the ground's already very saturated. All of this is basically starting to run off. And then it drains into your creeks, streams, rivers. Then it's a delayed effect, those climb. So I think that we'll have very high water all the way in through this evening. And we are going to continue to add. We could potentially see, let me just show you real quick, how much more rain we could have throughout the next few hours. There are signs that we could see up to another inch in spots, maybe even up to 2 inches. So that's definitely something that we're keeping tabs on. And as this continues to move to the east central Missouri, you are going to have some very strong thunderstorms here that will push into your area with some significant rainfall out there. So let's go back to our radar and take a closer look at the system coming through. And let's just kind of do a whole look all the way from the Iowa state line all the way down through Ottawa and out into the Flint Hills. This line continues to push from west to east here. We do have 2 active severe thunderstorm warnings. Good news, that tornado warning was just dropped. It looks like it is no longer on here. Yep, they canceled the tornado warning. Fantastic news. But this white outlined polygon here, that is the severe thunderstorm warning with the considerable tag on it, is very much worth watching. Even though we don't have the tornado warning, we could have a tornado warning with this type of setup here again shortly. There's little notches that form on the leading edge that we will continue to watch for, but 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts are a big concern with this specific storm. And then you go up to Chillicothe, more 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So all of this pushing to the east. There's a little gnarly cell that just formed there in northwest Pettis County. And so all of this is worth watching into central Missouri over the next probably 2 hours or so. Kansas City Metro, you are done with the severe threat in your area once this leading edge has made its way through your neighborhood. So hopefully that can settle down some of that storm anxiety out there, Luke.
Yeah, I'm glad that the tornado warning dropped. We do still have the tornado watch that is in effect. All these counties shaded in orange, which includes the Kansas City Metro. But we are telling you that the tornado threat in KC in the Metro is done. All right, so this is going to get trimmed back. Sometimes it takes a while for these to drop back. But those of us that are west of the leading edge, we're in the clear. But just want you to see that as these storms march east, they're still in a favorable environment. And Warren had just spotted a storm, and this is something that we are always paying attention to. If you get storms that develop ahead of a big line like this and they're kind of all by themselves, they can be the ones that really get going on you. They can get nasty. So let's just take a quick peek at some of those. So this is over here by Marshall, so what, Saline and Pettis counties, and over here by Lafayette County, so Sweet Springs. Not severe, but we're going to keep an eye on that one, all right? So whenever they do that, they're all by themselves. There's storms that you want to pay attention to. So in the metro, for Kansas City, for Overland Park, for Gladstone, for the general metro area, we are transitioning quickly away from severe weather into the flood, which is ongoing, the flood threat that will continue for us into the evening as this heavy rain on the backside continues for us. Those of us along the line, let's get you the latest here. All right, so severe thunderstorm warnings continue. No more tornado warnings. That is great. But, we've had a first warn on this to highlight the potential for storms and heavy rain and all that stuff since the middle of last week. And we always just try to do that. Our goal is just to give you as much notice as possible. If you got something happening on this day, or, even if you're just staying home, this is going to impact you. And that's just our goal. So we've got a new warning here that just popped up. Looks like the considerable tag has been taken out. Let's check the warning.
Tor possible, I think.
Tor possible, okay. Yeah, they're just going to put that on anything today, I do believe, because it's, we're watching the snaky line, and along little edges and kinks in that snaky line, you can get a tornado to develop quickly. So no tornado warning, but this is an area that's being monitored, is what the National Weather Service is saying. Along this, just like we've had previously today around, we just had the one by Wellington. We can get enhanced areas of rotation. That's being monitored. Nothing imminent, but we're going to keep tabs on that for you. The wind's now down to 60, okay? So let's look at everybody in the new warning here. So Bramer, Richmond, Wellington. We're going to keep an eye on rotation, but nothing of warning criteria right now. And 60-mile-per-hour winds instead of 70. So the wind's coming down a little bit. Not much hail, penny-size hail. Little bitty hail is possible. Wellington, Odessa, back by Lone Jack. If you're in Lone Jack, you're in Grain Valley, you're in Pleasant Hill, this could have some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts initially, then the real heavy rain, and then it's going to back off like Lee's Summit. Lee's Summit's doing much better now. So that's that warning. And then here's another one that we've got. This one does not have the tornado possibility tag with it. This is Chillicothe and Meadville and Hale and places like that. This warning is going to go until 4:15. That includes Grundy, Lynn, Livingston, Sullivan counties until 4:15. So within, especially right there by Chillicothe, you're going to get some enhanced wind that's coming in on the backside up to about 60 miles per hour in that zone. So that's what we see with that. Now let's get back to the metro. I just want to show you, even though we're not under any severe warnings, we do have the multiple flash flood warnings, and this is just rain. Let me kick the lightning. The lightning stopped working for some reason. And that's just regular old rain. It's going to be steady. This is going to hang with us until sunset or after, and at times it's going to be moderate, but not super duper heavy duty thunderstorm stuff like we had passed through just moments ago. Okay, Warren, any updates over there with that storm that you saw by Sedalia?
So yeah, nothing with that one, but the National Weather Service is giving us some insight that they're likely going to add another warning. I don't know if that means tornado or severe thunderstorm. I would assume severe thunderstorm downstream for Johnson-Saline County. So they'll probably extend this part of the severe thunderstorm warning more to the west. Hopefully not tornado, but that's something worth watching there. Another thing, I just want to show you a few damage reports we had come in. Honestly, there haven't been very many, but the two that we have are from Wellsville, power poles down, thunderstorm wind damage there, and Buckner also had large tree limbs down across Highway 7. Those are just two that have come in officially. I know that there's a lot more out there from just looking at your guys' comments. So we are, okay, we're going to go ahead and go out to, I believe you said Grace is out with us. Okay, Grace Smith joining us now. Hi, Grace. What are you seeing out there?
Hey, Warren. Yes, we are on Highway 40 in Blue Springs, just past downtown. And I mean, as you can see, just a ton of rain. It's honestly been very hard to drive in. We have been going well under the speed limit. Windshield wipers at full max. At sometimes, some places there is a lot of pooling on the side of the road. We came off the highway earlier and we definitely caught some water under our tires. So just a lot of rain in this area again on Highway 40. Definitely driving very, very slow. A lot of people, some of them having their hazard lights on, just making sure that everyone drives safe through this. As it, I honestly say, yeah, photographer Kenny told me that is born.
Okay, thank you so much. I mean, that's showing you the storm and showing you what's out there. And that's going to be the case through the rest of tonight. We are stacking rain and lots of it on top of what has been a tremendously wet day. So that will be an issue on the roads. Roads tonight will remain dangerous. And some of us, before the night is done, could see up to 5, 6 inches. You know, a half a foot of rain is not out of the question. New warning just came out. Okay, so this line continuing its march to the east. Severe weather no longer the threat for Kansas City. The flash flood is the threat. This is a tornado possible tag with this warning, which means that it's still being monitored for areas of spin. Huge warning here. This is a big old warning going Carrollton, Blackburn, Higginsville, all the way back to Odessa and Grain Valley. This is till 4:15, so we've got, 45 minutes with this, and wind gusts to 60 miles per hour. Hail has not been a problem. Has it been, what are they saying with this one? Penny-size hail. So hail, again, these have not been big hailers. They've been big rainmakers, and they get a little spinny at times. Let's see if there's any spin along this line here, and just monitor where there could be some enhanced wind or some rotation. So right now, nothing jumping up down here by Higginsville. Here comes a fresh scan. All right, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible, maybe over here just north of Higginsville, a little enhanced area west of Norborn. We'll watch that. And then running north all along this, so you can see how it all kind of starts. Oop. Let's switch out of this radar. This radar is a little bit too close. I want you to get a good look at it. So there we go. But all along this leading edge, right through here, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible at the very beginning punch of the storm. So Carrollton, Waverly, get ready for that. Possibly already in Higginsville. Past Chillicothe, just went past Chillicothe, and next in line would be hail. So multiple severe thunderstorm warnings continue to the east. Tornado watch still in effect until 8 p.m. for a number of our counties, including the metro. But again, we're not worried about tornadoes in Kansas City anymore. It's out to the east along that line. Back to the initial radar, the standard radar that you're used to seeing, and it's wet. It's wet and it's stormy, and we're going to have your back with you, have you covered this whole way through. So we're going to do a reset here. I want to get you the big view. We're going to show you the roads, what's going on in the metro, and we're going to show you the flood threat too that's ongoing. So multiple things happening as we kick off here at the 3:30 hour. All right, so let's start out. First off, no longer any tornado warnings. We've had multiple tornado warnings today within the past 5 to 10 minutes. We dropped the most recent one. We are still watching for the possibility of spin this evening, but nothing is imminent, so that is good. In Kansas City, we have multiple flash flood warnings. That is these red boxes that you see. I'm going to kick off the radar and let you see. All of that, these are all flash flood warnings that are in effect until about 7 o'clock tonight. So we've already had flooding. That will continue to get worse as we stack on that, all that rain that's on top of it. Okay? The severe portion of the storms is now east of Kansas City. This is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and enhanced areas of spin. Could have a quick area of rotation, and brief tornadoes try to drop along this line. All right, so that's going to be from essentially down here just east of Pleasant Hill. So Holden, Odessa, Higginsville, Carrollton, all the way up to Chillicothe. You're going to watch these little kinks. See all these little kinks along this line? Those are the zones that we're going to keep tabs on. Nothing right now is too spinny, so that's good. And then 60-mile-per-hour winds within that. That's the big broad view that we've got. In the meantime, let's go. Brad, you've had some cameras over there that have been showing just how nasty the roads are.
Yeah.
I mean, traffic has been stopped. We've had semis blown over. Show us what you got.
Yeah, the backups just continue all across the Kansas City area, mainly though as you work on the east side of the metro. But here we are looking at I-435 southbound at 23rd Street, and this is just an indication of the weather that's caused all these slowdowns all across the metro. There have been several accidents, as Luke was mentioning. 2 semis have been blown over. That was about an hour ago when those winds were just racing through the metro area. But we've seen, here's the other thing we don't know. We're reporting crashes. We're reporting these semis that were blown over. We haven't yet heard, we haven't been able to talk with authorities yet to find out if there have been any injuries involved with many of these crashes or many of these incidents that we're seeing out on the roads across the metro. So we keep our fingers crossed that people keep it slow. We've heard from our Grace Smith, who's out there, our Gianni Navarro, who've been driving around. They are also experiencing lots of that pooling the water getting under the tires, and that's when you can slip and slide on the roads, and that's what's causing more than likely some of these possible slide-offs, some of these accidents that are happening across the metro. But it's what we're going to see, Luke and Warren, when you have drivers and cars and vehicles out there when the rain is just pounding down. It's not going to be good.
Yeah, and the other thing, Brad, is swollen riverways and streams and all that can spill over, and you won't be able to tell how deep the water is. And you could be cruising down the road going pretty fast and then hit one of those where the water's come out from a waterway and hydroplane, and it's just not good. It's a messy situation. Now, what happened earlier today, it was about 2 o'clock, that the storms came through Kansas City, through the metro area, and they packed 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. That's part of the reason, is the reason why some of the semis were blown over, but it also caused a lot of power outages. Sharon, do you have an update? Because that number kept getting larger.
Yeah,
How many people were without power?
We've been tracking this number ever since we started coverage at about 2:30 this afternoon, but that number now up to over 11,500 customers without power at this moment. Now, this is in both the Kansas and Missouri side. Earlier, we were focused more on the Johnson County area, south of Johnson County, but these numbers are now coming in from the Missouri side as well. Now, something we do want to say is, we talked about down power lines. The good news is that we did have Mike Nico out driving in the South Johnson County area, about 159th to Black Bob and Antioch, and he said that there were no signs of any power lines down or any damage, and Johnson County Airport also looked unaffected, which is good news at this time. But again, just to recap, about 11,500 customers without power this afternoon. And certainly we will reach out to Evergy to see what the work is going into to bring that power back online. But right now we want to show you some of the video, incredible video that we've been getting into our newsroom of this storm. Check this out. Spinning clouds. You see that curve right there? These are spinning clouds in Kansas City, Kansas. This is by Nebraska Furniture Mart. You can see those clouds there, just dark and ominous. Now we want to go to some video out of Gardner Lake. You can see there again. Look at that. It looks like a wall cloud there. Luke, is that right?
With a wall cloud, you have to see that it's one, lowering, and two, that there's a little bit of rotation with it, and I can't get a good look at it.
Yeah.
So, but what we saw earlier, that was a funnel cloud trying to develop, no doubt about it. All right.
Yeah.
And we've seen spin in some of the storms earlier today. In fact, look at this. All right. So there's no doubt. I mean, that is a tornado that is trying to form. Now, of course, it's not a tornado until the funnel reaches the ground. That's not even yet a funnel cloud. But you do see the spin in the parent thunderstorm, what we call a supercell thunderstorm, where they spin like that, and it's trying to wrap itself up. So there's no tornado there, and that's what we see on radar. Whenever I'm going to our Doppler winds on the First Warn radar, our technology sees that, and that's the beginning stages of a tornado. So that's where we can say, hey, warning, there's a tornado really trying to form here. It could drop at any minute. We want you to know that before it's on the ground. So that's the whole goal with that. And sometimes they will make it to the ground, and other times they don't. This one may not have. We haven't had confirmation that it did. And we would rather than not. But if we see, hey, this thing's spinning like a top, you need to get to a safe spot. We want you to know that. So is this the same video from earlier?
No. So this is apparently Bonner Springs. This was taken out in Bonner Springs. You can see obviously the dark skies there, and it looks like there's some stuff there kind of coming down from the clouds, but I don't see any spin there.
Yeah, those are what we call scud clouds. So that is clouds that are being developed. They're not being sucked up necessarily. They're just developing right below the base of the parent thunderstorm, and they often get confused with wall clouds. But again, a wall cloud, it's got to have some rotation with it. And this is just scud clouds that are forming. Now, eventually, that might make a lowering, and that lowering could become a wall cloud. But what you're seeing there is is the scud clouds.
Yeah, certainly a lot of activity this afternoon. And for that reason, the city's Emergency Operations Center is activated because of the ongoing tornadic activity in the area. So remember, if a tornado warning is in effect, you need to take shelter immediately. Stay indoors, off the roads if you can, unless absolutely necessary. And again, this remains an evolving situation. I mean, as we've seen this afternoon, you know, as the warning pulls back to a watch, again, the warning will come back again. So it is fluid for sure, Luke.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Yes, it is. So let's get you another setup on the radar and walk through what all is going on out there right now. We do have several severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect. We have flash flood warnings that are in effect for Kansas City. Our severe threat is done in the metro, but we still have many of us that are under the threat for severe weather from this line. And now 2 new severe thunderstorm warnings, one over here by Marshall, one over here by Fristow, that are out ahead of this main line. So heavy rain continues for us. We also have flash flood warnings down to our southwest, looking down here by Garnett. So we're in Franklin and Anderson counties and Lynn counties there in Kansas. So there's a lot going on, everybody. Let me just get you a setup here. All right, so heavy, this is a fire hose of rain that's moving in toward Burlington and Waverly. This is an area that's already had very heavy rain. Garnett, Kincaid, south of Osage City. There's Topeka right there, so it's south of there. So there's Lawrence. So that would be Douglas, Franklin, and then Anderson County. So this is Anderson County here in Kansas that we're going to watch. And then we've got our flash flood warnings in Kansas City in the metro. This is just rain, but it's good heavy rain that's continuing for us. Okay, and then we've got multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. I'll get to these in a second. First, I'm told Betsy is joining us, and she's got something to share. Let's get to Betsy.
Hey guys, we're on I-70 eastbound and heading up towards the stadiums, and we circled back around because our first trip up this way we saw that police are blocking the exit to 435. We circled back around, it's blocked on both ends, and that is causing a backup here on I-70 East. A scout camera shows us that what is causing that highway to be closed is a semi that is overturned. So there are lanes of I-435 southbound that are closed. As a result, the exits from I-70 in both directions to 435 south have been blocked off by police officers. You should be seeing that roadblock here shortly as we're driving. One other thing that we are seeing is a lot of debris in the shoulder from when the water was very high and pushing that debris to the side. We did experience about 15 minutes ago a fair amount of standing water on the roadway, which forced you to slow down because you really got stuck in that water. That seems to have subsided, but we're seeing the debris to the side of the road. Now, we are coming up to the exit for Manchester Traffic Way, and after that, we'll be getting the 435 South exit, and you will see that police have blocked it with flares. And because of that, I'm looking off to my right, and Manchester Traffic Way is also seeing a major backup of traffic. All around this area, people trying to avoid I-435 South are taking different exits, and that is causing backups on the side streets as well as causing the backup on I-70 East. As you can see, we are not moving very much. We are approaching that exit, and we will continue to keep you apprised of the situation. Reporting live in Kansas City, Missouri, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Very good, Betsy. Thank you so much. That's what's out there. So just to reiterate, the exits to 435 from 70 are closed. You can't get on 435 from 70 where Betsy was just reporting from, so beware of that. Now, ongoing situation, we've got a lot of warnings, especially for our eastern counties. This is a severe threat. We still have rain and the flash flood threat with the horrible roads that we've got in the metro. We're going to rejoin you here in just a few moments. We've got you covered through this event. For now, we're going to send it to a break. We'll be right back.
My morning routine.
The first thing I do when I wake up is turn off the alarm. I need 3 snoozes to get out of bed.
One alarm goes off at 4 a.m. and I'm out the door at 4:15.
I love a bath full of bubbles.
I'm very quick
All right, welcome back, everyone. 3:45 the time now. We're watching the storms, the flash flooding, the severe threat as we go throughout this evening. What I'm showing you here is the tornado watch that goes until 8 o'clock this evening, and it does officially include portions of the metro, though we are done. And I just want that to be known. Sometimes it's as important to know when there is no threat as when there is a threat. The tornado threat for the Kansas City metro is done. It is for counties that have not yet been hit by the storms and the atmosphere is not yet worked over. So that's going to be along this line where we've got Chillicothe to Richmond to Warrensburg, where the severe thunderstorm warnings are. Through that area, each of these warnings are spots that are being monitored where we could see some rotation. I have no active tornado warnings. What I do have are 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts along this line for some of our eastern counties, from Higginsville to Warrensburg to Carrollton to Brookfield, all right? And then there's another warning over here by Marshall. So that one's 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. We're going to watch that one. And then I do see another stronger one that's over here south of Cole Camp by Warsaw. I'm going to keep tabs on that one, too. That's in Benton County. That one's showing a little bit of a sign of rotation. So some stronger storms through here. The threat level, not what it was previously today as far as the severe risk. And something really interesting happened. By the way, in Kansas City, it's the flash flooding that we're most concerned about now and the roadways. But something earlier happened where we had a confirmed large and violent tornado. The warning came from the National Weather Service of Raytown, with a confirmed tornado there. And in fact, a very rare, particularly dangerous situation, that's a tag that was put with the warning in Raytown. And we saw some stuff on radar to the reason why the warning was put out. But what's odd is that's a densely populated area, and we haven't had a lot come back in as far as reports. So there's some question marks as to what actually happened with that. Warren can show you what we had seen on our side and just kind of walk us through what's a little bit confusing as to what's going on, because where the debris was being shown wasn't where the circulation in the wind was being shown. It was odd.
Yeah.
We were watching by the stadiums.
Absolutely, yeah. So there were a couple different notches there, but so at 2:30, again, this is not now. This was about an hour and 15 minutes ago. 2:30, the National Weather Service said there was a confirmed and extremely dangerous tornado located near Raytown, and they put that particularly dangerous situation tag on it, and they were concerned about a tornado debris signature. I know a lot of verbiage here that doesn't probably make a whole lot of sense, but what a tornado debris signature is we look at the correlation coefficient or the debris tracker here, and when we see a big drop like this or a little ball, that is a sign that we are getting some debris that's getting lofted up, or we're getting some debris, that is being rotated around. And so let me throttle this back. Basically what I want to do is, I haven't heard a lot from people in Raytown, and I want to see from Gregory Boulevard, here's 350, 63rd Street. That was around 2:30. The rotation was there. And if we advance it one more scan here, kind of right over Raytown. So downtown and north, Blue Ridge Boulevard here and Raytown Road that feed into Raytown. That's where there could have been some debris, and we're seeing these signs on radar. So we would like to hear your reports, and we're going to gather more information if we can find anything. But yeah, as Luke mentioned, that is very aggressive verbiage there, and we haven't had the reports come out that we probably would have if there was a lot of debris and trees down and things like that. So we're going to continue to gather more on that, and I'll send it back over to you.
Yeah, Warren, you don't hear that unless there is a tornado,
right,
and it's going right through an area that's got a lot of people in it. And, now we have some question marks of what exactly happened. But our own Gianni Navarro is in Raytown now. I just got word that that's where she is, and she can show us what she's seen. Gianni, over to you. What are you seeing there in Raytown?
Yeah, Luke, so I know there's a lot of discussion of what happened here in Raytown, not seeing debris and such with that verbiage you were talking about. We have been traveling ourselves, but we did come across this one tree that did snap onto the roadway. You can see some cars kind of stopping here. This is a 2-lane road on 47th near Maywood. You can see cars are kind of stopping to go around that tree. So earlier when we did get here, though, guys, there was an ambulance that went off the road. There is a dirt pile kind of over there. If my photographer can kind of zoom in. The ambulance told me, the driver came up to me and told me that they were driving, they were going to a call. The road was wet, the rain was coming down. He saw the tree, he tried to get around that tree. Unfortunately, he slid off the road onto the side. It did get towed away. He did come up to me asking me to not film that out of respect, so we did not show that out of respect for them. But that just kind of shows you what kind of happens when the roads are wet, and if you're going at a higher speed. Not sure how fast he was going, but just to take it easy. If you are going to be traveling along 47th, though, we are seeing cars trying to pass at the same time. It is clear the tree is still on that lane, so please be careful when you're traveling here. For now, Luke, back to you.
Gianni, thank you so much. So we have some tree damage. We have some, severe thunderstorm level damage that happened there in Raytown. I think it's pretty obvious that we could say that there was not a large and violent tornado that went through Raytown. She would have seen it if she were out there. So that's good news. I don't know what happened because we saw the debris signature and the warning was issued. But there's a little bit of confusion. We're going to be working on that. But good news, it looks like Raytown was spared by not getting hit by a very large tornado. Okay, we're going to go to break. I'm going to come back. We're going to track the latest with the storms and check the roads for you. It's coming up in just a few minutes.